Hey, it's Moody here, helping you to fish smarter, not harder. This week's blog post, I'm going to show you a little trick when it comes to rigging one of the most popular mackerel trolling rigs, that is. As you know, Spanish mackerel, at times they group in big numbers and go deep, where you use different methods like metal slices and that kind of thing. But at times when they all spread out and they start to roam, trolling can sometimes be a good method, particularly if you want to cover a bit of ground. One of the most popular methods is the wog head with the garfish trolling behind it. We're going to start by making a whole new rig up. Okay, now first up, I've got a length of 80 to 100 pound wire, stainless steel single strand wire. Around about 90 centimetres long. First up, I'm going to attach the hook end. In this case, we've got 3 𝗘𝗘𝗘𝗥, haywire twist and barrel rolls. We've already got a blog on how to do that. So I'm just going to make that part of it first. Do about 6 or 7 haywire twists. And then we go into some barrel rolls, 4 or 5 at the end to finish it off. But we're not quite finished, because what we want to do is have that post, this tag of wire, the same direction as those hooks, the way the hooks are hanging. Now as you can see, it's a little bit offset there at the moment. So what I'm going to do is just bend that back a little tiny bit and get that wire to line up with the hooks. Okay. Because what's going to happen is the garfish is going to lay on there and that post is going to go up through his mouth and we're going to fix it off. So no point in having that barb out to the side or around the other way. It's got to be vertically above, in line with the hooks. So what we do then is simply cut off that post about 3/4 of an inch is what we want left. So cut that off. What we do next is attach a gar spring, pointy end to the top, wide end towards your bait, and then simply, same with your lure, bottom end goes on first. Okay, settle that down on there. Then what we do up this end is simply, whatever method you're going to use to fix it to your leader, you can have a snap swivel there and just have a wire loop on here and interchange them that way. That's one of the most popular ways. So we just finish off once again with some more barrel rolls at the end of the haywire twist. And this time we don't need the post, so we can just kink it upwards like so and use that as a cranking handle and just simply twist it off, and there you have it, no burrs. Now what we do is attach the garfish. So we've got to make sure we got our gar spring out. I'll go and grab a garfish and we'll be right back and show you how to do it. Okay, here's one we prepared earlier, so to speak. First thing we do is break the bill off, but not right up here. We just want to break it off sort of where it starts to thin out onto the nose. Around about there. So there's his mouth. So about 1 centimetre out from the mouth is where you basically want to leave it. What we also do, before we put the gar on, we give them a squeeze down the middle of the back, and you watch that little area along the top here pop. It just pops out a little bit. Give it a good squeeze from the tail to the head. That flattens the garfish out, helps it swim a little bit more, and just limber them up a little bit too. It doesn't matter whether you're using them for a skip bait or a troll bait. There we go, nice and pliable, so he'll make a good swimmer or a good skipper. Now that we've limbered the garfish up, we're going to attach it to the rig. Now what we do is that post that we've left standing up, we line that up with his top, just behind his top beak area. So around about there, because it's going to go underneath, through his bottom jaw and out through his top beak. So then what we do is, we line up that with the first hook, shank down the back here. We hold it there, so that's where that first hook has got to go in. And we only put one hook in, so I'm going to put that hook in here. The other 2 hooks drag behind. There's no need for them to go into the stomach. And then, there's that post. That goes up, it's in the right position because we measured it. And it comes up through that top beak just there. You can just see it coming through there now. So then we hold it there, then we grab our gar spring We slide that over the bill, and at the end of the gar spring, where the spring actually starts, there's a little bit of a wide tag. And we just hold that out, and we twist the spring to get it to catch on it, like so, and then we just keep winding it up. Just a few winds, and you can see that wire has now travelled through the gar spring about 3 or 4 coils, and it's holding that down nice and well. Now that we have our garfish firmly attached to the rig via the gar spring, we can simply push the lure down on top, the gar's nose goes up in the back of the lure, and there's our wog head. And because we put a loop on there, we can attach that to a snap at the end of our leader, and you're away. Go and catch a few mackerel. Also, just another little quick tip, when you coil these up, or any wires for that matter, because you're going to put these in the fridge, you're going to make up 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 or whatever, I just coil them around my fingers, and every time you coil the tag off, make sure you go through 1, 2, 3 times. Don't do it 2 or 4, get used to doing it 3 times, or if you like it 2, do it 2 times, because every time you go to undo it in a hurry, if you don't do it the amount of times that you've done it in the first place, it'll get in a bit of a knot and you won't be able to get your new bait out there in a hurry in event of a hot bite. So always get used to how many times you've coiled it and how many times you've actually looped off that tag. Just one more thing, when it comes to hook size and the garfish size, that's a pretty good size garfish. So that's why I've got the 3 𝗘𝗢𝗦𝗛𝗡 trailing almost just inside the tail area. And if you're going to use a slightly smaller gar, you can still use 3 hooks if you like, but you just go down a size or 2 for the next size. Or the other alternative is to use a hook system with the same big 𝗘𝗦𝗦𝗛𝗡, but only go to 2 hooks instead of 3. So always have it so that your last hook is just inside the tail end of the garfish, no matter what size the gar you're using. Now, if you don't have a gar spring on board your boat, but you've got some rubber bands, you can also use that as an alternative. So I'm just going to push that gar spring out of the road. I'm going to put that wire back through both his jaws. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to slide a rubber band over the top of that post, like so, and then twist that around the bill. A few times, and then up and loop around that same spike again. So it doesn't matter whether you're using a gar spring or a rubber band, the key is to make sure that it keeps his mouth shut and he's pulled down tight on the front of that rig. There you have it, that's how I like to attach my garfish, nice, quick and easy, behind any mackerel lure for that matter. So if you like this little tip and you'd like to see more, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, or if you only want some special tips I send out via email only, head on over to our website www.𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 time.